Beautiful morning out on the Comrades route. Up in Hillcrest area this morning. This is the last of my long runs before Two Oceans. Got 3 weeks to go before I stop doing mileage and become a spectator and supporter. And this morning I thought I'd just chat a little bit about some things that are specific to the Comrades up run as the sun comes up this morning. So here we are on a Sunday morning, 31st of March, 3 weeks to go before Two Oceans, as I said earlier, and I've run back to the top of Fields Hill. Obviously this is the top of the steepest and most relentless hill on the Uprun Comrades route, the biggest one of the big five. And as I get going again and head back, this is the bottom end of my run today. My intention is to just talk about the first third of the Comrades route and how relentless that first, it's actually probably I think about 37 kilometers of the Comrades route is. Just to help those of you who may be unfamiliar, maybe you're running your first up run and didn't quite realize when you were running down to Durban, or maybe you take on your first Comrades. So on Comrades Day, by the time you get to where I've just turned, you will have run about 26 kilometers and you would have hardly run downhill at all. The only time you would have noticed that you're running downhill is when you came down the short descent of Comrades Hill, which is about a 1 kilometer descent to come down that side, and then there are a couple of gentle flats through Westville leading you towards the bottom of Cowies, and that really is about the only place you would have had any let up besides when you left the city hall. It really is pretty relentless all the way to the top of Bertha's Hill, which is just beyond Kearsney College. Obviously today the roads are not closed, so just next to me now is where you will be running on Comrades Day on the freeway, and right now is when you'll be feeling the crest of Fields Hill. The gradient has just eased up to being level now, and we're about to turn off into Kloof. So we're in the tree-lined streets of Kloof now. This is Old Main Road. Happen to be on the same piece of road as a group of runners who are obviously doing a Comrades route run. We've got tables set up and everything. Yeah, and this is one of your bits of respite from the incessant uphill. An important thing about the uprun is to realise that because of the nature of the route and that first 37 kilometers, you really can't look at your pace in the first, for most people, what'll be 3.5, 4 hours of the run, maybe a little bit more for some, because you know, you really are going to lose time on the climbs, and if you don't lose time on the climbs and run conservatively, you're going to just pay for it later. So you really have to run to effort and not to pace. I'll chat about it later, but from the bottom of Bothas, you basically are running an undulating course. You reach the same altitude as Maritzburg when you hit the bottom of Bothas. So we've actually done almost all the climbing to Maritzburg. By the time we hit, I think it's about 34 kilometers, and then you still have to climb up Bothas. So yeah, it's very important to bear that in mind and know a little bit about the route when you're standing on the start line outside the city hall. And obviously in your training, I think there's about 10-11 weeks to go now, I'm not exactly sure, but you need to find routes where you are just going up and down and up and down. It's not hard to find that when you run in the areas that I run in, but I know for others they battle, and you just really have to look for hills. Just crossing back onto the Comrades route now, and down there I'll try to take a picture of it from the other angle. Is a unremarkable part of the route that nobody speaks about, but that's the Everton off ramp that you will run up on Comrades Day. You'll come off the freeway and join onto here where I am now, and it's short but it's remarkably steep. When you see parts of the route like that, don't be afraid to take a 20 or 30 second walk. It's worth saving the effort for your legs. You will lose hardly any time by taking a walk there, and you'll save a bit of effort. And if you do it all throughout the route, you will save a significant amount of effort. So yeah, just be aware of stuff like that. Now about to climb another little hill that non-locals don't speak about. It's called Fire Station Hill, and that will mark the start of what pretty much, apart from one little break, will be a climb all the way through Winston Park, through Hillcrest, then quick little down Heartbreak Hill in Hillcrest, then all the way up Bothas to the top of Bothas. Pretty much climbing all the way. Morning guys. So I'm just topping out of, well, about to top out, it's probably about 150 meters to go, up Fire Station Hill, which brings me into Winston Park, which is one of the cut-off areas. There'll be a timing mat here, so it is a point that you can use for a schedule, and yeah, just remember to schedule a conservative time to get you. You need to lose a little bit of time on your average for the whole race. I would say to here, you're probably looking at being about 7 to 10 minutes down on an average speed if you were looking at a constant speed calculated over the whole route, but you will make that time back up again if you've run sensibly to this point and even on from this point. Getting up to Hillcrest now, another hill with no name, most definitely a hill. Hillcrest is called Hillcrest because it is at the crest of a hill, and you can see from the gradient, I'll try and put it on the screen, that we are most definitely climbing, and it's pretty incessant. I would say that this stretch between Winston Park and Hillcrest is pretty much constantly at about 3 or 4% of uphill gradient almost all the way. You just need to be mentally prepared for that if you're not familiar with it. Just speak to anyone who has run Comrades on the up run and they'll tell you what it's like. You really just don't get a break from going uphill. But having said that, it's doable. You've just got to be, I think it helps to be mentally prepared for it. There's certainly a lot less impact on the up run, and it's less painful than the down run is. Although the down run is probably faster, even though the route is longer, the down run is, a normal runner is capable of a faster time on the down run just because of the character of the route. But the up run is less painful because there's less impact with uphill gradients. And at the finish, you don't have to deal with as much pounding when your legs are tired when you run sort of 65, 70 k's. So, as I said, brief bits of respite from all the up. This is the last bit of Heartbreak Hill, which is coming down off the top of Hillcrest Hill. And then looming up in front of me is Comrades Hill. And we are pretty much at the same height and altitude as the finish in Pietermaritzburg right now. So you will have run about 33 or 34 kilometers between those two distance markers now, and you are at the same altitude as the finish in Maritzburg, and about to climb the number 3 of the big 5. After Bothas you have Ntonga, and then a long stretch that undulates, and then probably short at the end. So yeah, the mental preparedness as well as the physical preparedness is important on the up run. And this is almost me for the day. As I said, I am doing my last long run. I'm supporting my wife this year. Her turn to take on Comrades. She wants to do an up run. I have done 3 Comrades in a row, so I'm giving her a chance to experience the up run. She has done 1 down run. But we are both giving 2 Oceans a crack. Obviously, I've been giving her priority with training, so it's not the best prepared I've ever been for 2 Oceans, but I'm not doing too badly. Squeezed in a couple of around about 30k runs in the short amount of time I've had since the end of the paddling season, and I was pretty running fit for doozy, so had some good legs to work off. And here at the bottom of both is where I turn off the Comrades route. And the train's coming today. There's a security guard. Hello, hello. How you going? Fellow paddler just passing me on his mountain bike there. And yeah, I'm just heading back to my in-laws. We are having a day with family. Then just something about hill training. A lot of people, there's a bit of debate about hill training. If you are training for the up run, you definitely need to do it. How much you need to do, that is debatable, but what I would recommend is that you are getting a little bit more in now. Obviously, if you start a 12 or 15 week specific build up to Comrades, the first sort of 6 to 8 weeks, 6 weeks if you're doing a 12-week program and 8 weeks if you're on a 15-week build up, you should be doing maybe 2 out of 3 weeks a specific hill workout, and then on your longer runs I would make at least one very up and down. Then from there I would recommend tapering it off a bit. I refer to that first, I like to do a 12-week specific build up for Comrades, which I am limited a little bit by the fact that I'm a paddler and I do focus on the paddling season normally. So that first 6 weeks of my build up are like the vegetables and potatoes of your Comrades build up. That's where you need to build the strength, and then from week 6 to 9 is where you get the real meat, where you're packing in the mileage, but you don't really want to be burdening your legs too much with too much up and down there. That's my opinion anyway, because you're going to be loading with mileage. And then in terms of what kind of gradient to run up and down, I go pretty steep. I must admit, the one hill that I use relatively often averages 11% over 450 meters. I believe in building strength. I don't run up there very quickly, but I do believe in building strength. I do have a variety of hills that I train on, so the least of them is about 5%, but I don't believe in going anything less than that. It's not enough. If you're preparing for Comrades, you're going to be running up hills that are 10% for a significant distance. You've got to be prepared for that. So I do go quite steep. You've got to be on like 7 and 8, 9% quite a lot of the time, if you're going to be prepared for Comrades. So, and it's quite important to develop your form and technique when you're running in the hills. So you really got to learn to use your glutes and extend that hip as far as possible. Keep your heel on the ground for as long as possible, and push off your big toe. Those are the key factors for me. And push behind you. The power for running comes from behind you. It doesn't come from your quads, from your anterior chain. It comes from your posterior chain. So you can really use your hill workouts to work on that. So that's it for my 2 Oceans mileage. I've been greeted at the gate by my 2 dogs. They love coming here because there's a huge garden to run around in. I'm about done running for the day, I think. It's going to be a bit of a tough one with all the kids coming around later. But yeah, I've got just under 3 weeks to go now of being a runner before I become a supporter. And yeah, I'll keep making videos, hoping it helps some of you. Got some good feedback and people enjoyed it last year, so we'll try, and I'll just be making them from the side of the road from now on. Good luck in your preparation. Hope it goes well. Do the hard work now. It really does count to be doing it now. Sit. Sit. Come say hello. Yes. Come, Ollie.